Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having an incredible Sunday. So, today is the powerful Lion's Gate energy portal opening, and it's been a very interesting day. A lot of energy, a lot of incredible meditation events that I participated in today, and the same things I'm hearing over and over again in terms of the energy that we're dealing with as we're transcending this moment. So let's discuss a little bit about that. And the work that you and I are going to do today is to prepare yourself for the next 4 years in how we're manifesting things. It starts within the body, it starts within the mind body connection. So, one of the things that we're going to focus on today is rebalancing any of those heavy things that are still in there. A lot of you are having expansive feelings today. So, let's utilize that expansive feeling, that expression, that emotion, whether it's a high emotion or a low emotion. Let's go ahead and work with what we have and transmute it into the highest state possible so that we can affect healing and really turn those wheels of manifestation that happen from the inside out. So let's get started. This Lion's Gate, it really made me kind of question, what is a portal? What does it mean when something opens? And usually when there is a Lion's Gate, or when there's one of these gate portal openings that they say in alignment with celestial bodies that are moving and numerology and astrology, we're looking at a snapshot of the universe in a very unique energetic signature. Just like we have our own energetic signature, the universe, the world, this planetary system has its own vibrational signature. And at this moment, the things that it's experiencing allow the manifestation within each organism that resides within this multiverse. So the role that we play in the participation of the co-creation of the universe is incredibly important, because all of that is seated within what we are moving through mechanically, whatever we're driving, cycling through in our physical bodies. This is why working and deprogramming program emotions, heavy feelings, fears, anxieties, in other words, limiting beliefs, is imperative to maintaining a high vibration and a state of the organism that can move through any of these kinds of shifts that can happen. Now, we are always moving through celestial bodies. We are always moving through movements in the universe. But the human body does have the potential to transcend the influence of many systems in our universe, interconnected systems of influence that influence this physical body. One of them is astrology. Another thing is our space and our environment. Another thing is ancestral lineage and our DNA. And finally, any limiting beliefs that we adapt and that we have programmed within us or have been indoctrinated within us within the greater system, we also have the ability of transcending those things. So what I really like to focus on is enabling you as a human, as an individual, as this essence of consciousness embodied in this physical body, to begin to understand the laws of your creation and how you don't have to be stuck when these movements and shifts happen. You don't have to completely marry these ideas. You are not one thing, and you're not necessarily having to define yourself by what you're seeing in the world around you, what you're picking up energetically. All of those things are part of the human experience, and as we evolve as a collective organism, we're always going to be moving through these waves of information in the universe. So the biggest lesson of the human in this physical fragment of infinite consciousness is its ability to move through all of these influences, whether they're terrestrial, mental, emotional, or intergalactic in the universe. And this is really the power of the human, of this more than human, is this multidimensional organism that we have, the ability to move and navigate many dimensions simultaneously. Right? We have the ability of mastering the physical body, but we also have the ability of mastering levels of our dimensional consciousness by becoming awake. In other words, regaining consciousness that we are active in those different dimensional planes. And how we become conscious of that is by peeling the layers of limiting beliefs that do not help us understand the language that we need in order to communicate with our interdimensional aspects. So whether we're tapping into spirits, entities, and ghosts that revolve around us at all times, or in dream time, we're beginning to have lucid dreams and controlling the events and experiences that we have in lucid, when we are detaching from the physical body, or preparing as a whole organism through this lifetime, through all the experiences that we have that are informed by our ancestral cyclical patterns, in order to move on to the next level, the next ascension, or just natural evolution of an organism. So all of these things play an incredibly important role in how we navigate our reality. And the choice is within us. How and what we choose to experience and the way that we choose to experience it depends completely on our understanding of creation. We are creative beings, and we range from a scale of either being victimized or complete puppets or hosts to parasitic consciousness, all the way up to one of the highest vibrational existences that is an interdimensional organism that has the ability to move through many dimensional planes at any time. Therefore, in order to maximize our ability to learn, and I guess the idea of experiencing this full spectrum of emotions is in order to learn. And not only are we learning through the physical body, but the whole organism is learning through our experiences. Our family ancestral lineage is learning and evolving through our experiences and through our choices, and so on and so forth. And our children will carry out that evolution, that learning, based on the DNA that has been activated within them through your work and the work of all of your ancestors collectively. So the kind of work that we do on a daily basis really plays a role in shifting the collective consciousness. That's why meditation, that's why mindfulness, that's why these practices of remembering the self and learning to control this system, learning to understand how this incredible technology of the organic body functions, so that you can understand how you are next affecting the next generation immediately and collectively. So in today's meditation, I want to take you into a deep dive into the emotions that came up for you this week, that were triggered by this Lionsgate energy, that were magnified, that were feeling heavy. And we're going to begin to dissolve those heavy, heavy emotions that have come into the body, because if we don't do that work now, that will inform the way that you're manifesting the next couple months, and then it'll drag on into the next year. Now, last year in the Lion's Gate, we were really experiencing a feminine energy into that Lion's Gate, because it was about intuition. It was about our intuitive mind-body connection and trust and surrender, and the ability to tune into that surrendering energy, that divine feminine. And those of us that have not processed the trust within the self and being able to surrender to that divine feminine fluid energy probably had a really tough year this last year, because the things globally and internally that were occurring for us really triggered the parts of us that wanted to control our environment, other people, what people say, what people think, what people are doing. That kind of level of control is the imbalanced aspect of this Lion Gate energy. And so that we saw that very clearly in our world for the past year. And so now we find ourselves at another Lion Gate event here, this portal that is opening. And the influence of the energy here is more of a masculine. So what does that mean? Masculine represents action, movement, application. And so we are looking now at the organism. And remember that every single celestial event is a representation of the evolutionary opportunities that are available for all organisms in the multiverse. Not just us, but the angelic beings, high vibrational beings, all entities of consciousness have the ability to evolve during these celestial movements if they do so wish to work with those energies, because we are just receiving one wave of this collective movement that is happening, and all galactic centers of the multiverse receive those waves in different ways, some harder and some softer. Okay, so here on Earth, we are really feeling it in the physical because, of course, we are in the fourth dimensional plane in which we feel. We are here to transcend the feeling, the emotional body. So if we can learn how to control our emotions in this physical realm, our perceptions begin to change, and then we tune into the superhuman abilities that we have with this organism to begin to manifest and master mind over body, mind over matter. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to master matter. And within all things that are matter are the things that we're feeling in the physical body, emotionally, and of course through frequency. So this portal that we're dealing with right now is about the masculine movement. So those of you that have not, again, dealt with those parts of us that need to feel trust and surrender, definitely do that work, because the next step now, this year, with the Lionsgate influence, is now focused on action, movement. So you as an organism, you've trained yourself during this past year to trust yourself and to surrender, to trust your intuition, to trust yourself as a healing, as a sovereign, as the ability to co-create yourself and with the collective. Now, the next step is movement. You know, how is this organism going to move? Where does it need to go? And what we're experiencing is something like a Rubik's Cube, where we're kind of readjusting all of the little squares, is every organism that needs to go to the right place in the planet Earth in order to affect the healing and the work that that organism is here to do, if it so wishes to do that, if it so wishes to align with that timeline or that expression, that opportunity for its organism, right? We all have a choice. We can either self-destruct, or we can really come into these co-creation levels of playing and manifesting and co-creating. And all of that, there is no right and wrong. We all have the ability to choose either in any way. So if we do choose to enter into these high vibration aspects of ourselves, we have the ability of healing, not just ourselves, but the collective through the work that we are doing. Okay, and I think a lot of you that are here tuning into this challenge, and also this channel, are really focused on that. So thanks for doing that, because you are healing not just yourself, but your lineage and the collective. And it really speaks to those light workers out there that have come and incarnated in this time, that have been brave enough to transcend their own physical limitations, fears, anxieties, moving out of that victim role into this creative, this powerful leader, per se, in moving the evolution of mankind, because that's what we're here to do as light workers. We are here. We give up the physical, emotional sensations and regular life of entertainment and fun and all these physical stimulation in order to focus our attention on something that is more group healthy, more holistic, more healing for the whole. And it's not to say that there's something wrong with having a balance of everything. That is necessary. But a lot of us are feeling that we want to pull away from that and really focus on pulling forward as much as possible, holding space for the next step in this evolutionary as a collective. So that being said, this kind of energy of action and movement, a lot of us are being called to move to places that are needing our energy, not just the land itself, but we need the land as well. Every single point on this planet Earth is an energetic frequency signature, and each point of the Earth is also functioning like a vortex of energy. It's a collection of vortices that make up this spherical energy that is creating this toroidal field, right? And so our organism is very much like that. We're also made up of vortices that create these toroidal fields of energy, and this is how we navigate our non-physical aspect of the realm that we're in. So as we are moving in the parts of the earth that we are being called to do our work, these key areas will magnify our healing abilities. They will magnify our gifts, our potential, and align us with the people, places, and things that are in alignment with our greatest expression. So if right now you are really feeling called to move and to really change certain things in your life, whether it's leaving partnerships or starting new partnerships or new projects, Really, this is the time to do it. But before you step and jump into that direction, your intention of why you're doing that has to be very carefully understood. You are a co-creator, but co-creation happens from the subconscious mind. If the subconscious mind is polluted with fears, with anxieties, with self-doubts, again, that divine feminine work from the last year, from mistrust in your intuitive abilities and the collective, and also there's a deep mistrust that's happening with collective trauma. We are all experiencing a collective trauma in which so much information, conflicting information, has really, for some people, destroyed that ability to trust. And for others, it's really built a strong foundation in their own individual knowing of what is right and what is needed. So these two polarities that we're experiencing right now is in order to rebalance and shift the collective hypnosis from that hypnosis of codependency on a system that is more parasitic, and now shifting that into an independent, sovereign creator. That's what's happening with this energy now. So this is the process that we're going through collectively, and on the other end of this, we're going to have a lot more people that are leading, that are grounded, that are really consciously making those choices, not just for themselves, but their families, their nucleus, community. A lot of people are really pulling towards conscious community because that is where the next step is. Just the way technology is mimicking the expansion and the connection, the interconnectedness with technology and the organic. The human body is interconnecting with all of its organisms on this planet in order to interact and to help move and shift forward the essences that have incarnated during this time. And of course, we incarnate in waves of consciousness. Children that come in here are pulling us even a jump further. And every generation of wave of consciousness that we're experiencing pull us more and more and more forward, forward, forward. So we want to make sure that in these processes, we don't get stuck with the distractions that pull away from what is most organic, because that's what we are. That's what light is. It's that life force creation energy that we want to align with. So if you're feeling called to that, that's definitely something that you want to look into. And your intention based on your core beliefs, your ethics, your understanding of who you are, what you are, and why you're doing what you're doing is really, really important. And I think that's a lot of what I've been hearing today, is that of manifestation and intention. But if we don't handle the debris and the emotional blockages that are in the body, your intention is going to be tainted with those subconscious beliefs. So it's really, 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 really time to kind of get to work with those parts of us. You need to come into the light body, come into that high vibration state that is no longer stuck or feeling confused or distorted by the distractions of fear and separation. That's kind of what it is. Then on the other side of that is unity internally, so your insides are not battling each other, and you're congruent, mind, body, soul, what you're eating, what you're speaking, what you're doing, and your intentions. That congruency is essential to the organism moving forward. And that's one of the things that we need to focus on now at this time. So without further ado, I'm going to take you into the meditation. I want you to get really nice and comfortable. And we're going to breathe. And with every breath you take, go ahead and visualize allowing yourself to go more into a state of relaxation. Okay, we're going to go deeper and deeper into a state of complete relaxation. Breathing deeply and beginning to relax the body. Relaxing at the toes, at the ankles, the shins, the calves, the knees. going up into the thighs, going up into the hips, into the solar plexus, breathing deeply, making sure that your spine is straight, sitting up straight, feeling the oxygen enter into your body mindfully, mindfully pulling in that oxygen into the body down to the base of your spine. And exhale. Allowing yourself to come into a state of relaxation. And for a moment, as you take your attention up to your chest, breathing that oxygen into the chest, becoming aware of all the organs in the body. Setting the intention that we are sending oxygen to all of those organs. Blood flow moving through the body, clearing out any stagnant unconscious access points of the body, and noticing any part of the body that is unconscious, that is unaware. It's the part of your body that you forgot about. So that could be your back, it could be your thighs that are sitting on the chair, the lower back, the base of the feet, the base of the legs. Sometimes we forget about the body. We have to really remember ourselves. Usually we remember ourselves when we go to some new place because we are aware of our surroundings, and then we really become conscious of the body, how we're feeling, how we're breathing. We tend to become aware of, whether we're breathing or how we're feeling. So imagine that, you're tuning into that awareness now. With every breath you take, becoming aware of this full body. And you begin to kind of become aware of any subtle parts of the bodies or that feel uncomfortable. Going up into the back, into the spine. What's going on in the spine? Notice that. The spine is one of the most important parts of this body. Going up to the shoulders. Going up to the neck. Allowing the arms to drop next to our body without any effort, without resistance, just relaxing. And one of the mudras that I really enjoy doing is this one. It's a mudra of power and protection for the physical body so that you can visualize it. And it really represents the divine feminine, the intuitive aspect of ourselves. So if you wish, you can go ahead and place your hands in this mudra or any other mudra that you like to use. There's so many different kinds that you can focus on doing. And go ahead and use your hands to close the circuit of energy through the body. We're going to go up to the neck. I want you to take yourself up into the tongue, and you're going to allow your tongue to touch the roof of your mouth, of your palate, at the very top. Go ahead and put the tip of the tongue up to the top of the palate, and you're going to begin to feel kind of a cycling sensation of energy through the body. We're going to use this when we're running energy. So go ahead and do that, taking a nice deep breath. Going up into the head, focusing on the pineal gland, any tension that we feel at the center of the brain, visualize just relaxing. Imagine that you're relaxing all the muscles inside the head and the cranium. And as you take your attention inward, this practice of meditation helps grow gray matter over time, and that's what we want. So setting the intention that we are healing the body at the cellular level with this mindful practice. Going up to the crown of your head. Breathing deeply. Okay, now we're going to take our attention out to our energetic body. Go ahead, tuning into your physical body and then out to your energetic body. Go ahead and tap in. Sitting very still. Tuning into your 5 senses. What are you hearing? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you sensing? And without any judgment, your mind should be completely silent right now because it's busy observing. Keep yourself busy observing the breathing, observing the 5 senses, but then bringing it back to the breathing and stillness, the stillness that your body is experiencing at this time. And if you feel that your body is restless, that it wants to move, that it can't stay still, make it stay still. Make your body stay still. Surrender to the stillness. Notice how when parts of our body are moving quickly, it's because we have information that hasn't processed. We have emotions that haven't processed. So at the beginning it's going to feel like you want to run away, but stay with that feeling, watch it, and it will slowly dissipate. And we will work with the emotions that come up in just a moment. But as you stay still, sometimes you're going to feel like, it's kind of exhausting because you've been moving so much. But just allow yourself to breathe air into those parts that are now still. Breathe oxygen. The parts of the body that want to move around are also becoming hosts to entities and attachments. And sometimes having those jerky movements or sensations or inability to sit still is actually attachments, thought forms, in very busy and active thought forms that have not grounded. Very good. Okay. We're going to take our attention now to our emotions. Okay, so we went from physical body to energetic body to our emotions. So go ahead and tune into your body. And I want you to notice what is the emotion that is there for the past 24 hours. Go ahead and notice that. What is the emotion that's in your body for the past 24 hours? Acknowledge these emotions. It can be more than one. And being mindful to kind of scan your body, you'll notice that your mind shifts itself to different parts of the body just automatically. That's because it's telling you where those thoughts are located. Just observe for a moment. As you acknowledge the emotions, you're going to then feel the tension in the muscles of your part of the body that's holding on to those emotions releasing. Go ahead and release the muscle tension in those parts of the body that are holding on to that emotion. You are achieving a much deeper level of stillness. And I want you to go back now to your past week. As you begin to observe in the past week, what's the emotion that you most came into this past week? Go ahead and select the emotion that was the strongest for you this past week. Pretty sure that your entire body is still feeling that emotion. If you haven't processed it, your body is still feeling that emotion. So go ahead and tune in to what that emotion made you feel, and tune into your physical body. And as you feel that sensation, with every breath you take, you're going to slowly allow yourself to release the tension, the emotional tension that is within your body. Breathing into that emotion, breathing into the tension of the body. Notice what part of the body are you focused on right now? Is it the lower part of the body, the upper part of the body, chest, heart, back? I want you to notice if it's right, left, front, back. Just notice, locate that. Notice where we have been experiencing the highest amount of resistance. Where is that resistance? Okay, go ahead and tap into that resistance, that emotion. And I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you are resisting? What are you resisting this week? Go ahead and tune into that. Okay. And I want you to notice, what is it that you believe will happen to you if you do not resist this emotion? Or whatever resistance you are experiencing, whatever emotion. What happens if you don't feel that emotion? Go ahead and see that. Play it out in your mind. You probably already know the scenarios during this week that have triggered that emotion. So go ahead and play it out. If you were not to embody this emotion, what would happen to you? Notice that. Okay? And I want you to notice what that makes you feel. Okay, so you've identified what would happen to you if you didn't feel that emotion. And more than likely, you've now discovered another emotion that comes up. It might be fear, it might be feelings of being unsafe, fear of vulnerability, fear of being attacked, fear of having to juggle other people's expectations. Notice what it made you feel, or even your own expectations, judgments. Go ahead and tune in to that emotion that it triggered in your body, and locate in the body where you are feeling that emotion. Okay. So now that you identified that, some of you, maybe you're feeling this fear of judgment, fear of having to juggle other people's emotions. Whatever it is that you felt, go ahead and take a look at yourself. Take a look at yourself, feeling that emotion. What happens to your body when you feel that emotion? Go ahead and look at all the organs from outside. See if you see them change color. See if they feel heavier. See if you feel like you can't move. How does it paralyze you? How does it restrict you, limit you? How is this affecting your life? Notice that. Does it affect your work? Does it affect your love life, your creativity, your abundance, your ability to choose things that are good for you? Maybe it makes you reach for the carbs and the cookies, or maybe just bad things that are comforting to us. Okay, notice that. So notice how your entire paradigm begins to change for this emotion, this one emotion that you've just identified. Okay. So what does your organism need? Notice that. What do we need in order to not feel fear of this emotion? Okay. Take a look at that. What do you need? What would be a better way to manage these kinds of triggers when they arise? A lot has to do with control, the need to control. Okay? Okay, what if we didn't control? What if we realized that we couldn't control outside events? We could not control those around us that trigger these emotions? In fact, the only thing we can control is ourselves. So what is it that we need to control within us in order to no longer feel this feeling of helplessness, of overwhelming emotion, this emotion that changes our life into something we don't even want? Notice that. Okay. Go ahead and see yourself, and I want you to give yourself that. Give yourself what you need. You're going to bring down a powerful ray of white light from the 13th dimension, from the 8th dimension, your crown chakra of manifestation, from source. And I want you to fill this organism up with that white light. I want you to remind it how it's infinite. And notice how it begins to change the way that it looks at these triggers when it realizes that it's infinite. How does it change? Give it all that it needs. Remind that part of you that it's infinite, and notice how it changes. Do we have to be repeating the same negative patterns again and again? Or can we change it once and for all? Because this pattern that you're going through is not just you, it's your entire ancestral lineage, and it's completely interconnected with all other beings on this planet that have also experienced the same thing. And we all experience the same thing in different ways. So as we begin in our own way, with our own journey, to teach ourselves how to transmute this fear into love, unconditional love, infinity. Allow yourself to feel that love in your body. First for yourself, feel compassionate. Take a look at yourself. So much energy that was spent emotionally, trying to protect, trying to resist, trying to control, trying to define things or to feel certain ways, looking for validation, looking for worth. Okay, look at the struggle that it's gone through, and give it all that it is. Remind that organism, that part of you, the fragment of yourself, that it is all of those things without any effort. Just remembering. When it remembers itself, it just embodies it automatically. So I want you now to tune in to the 8th dimensional layer of your body. So now that you've provided that healing, look at it that it has these layers around its body. It has 13 layers around the body, your fragment. Take a look at its multidimensional body in your mind's eye. As you look at yourself, which one of these layers, 13 layers, which one of them is the one that's holding on to this cyclical pattern of suffering, of limitation? Take a look at that. Okay? Take a look at that. Go ahead and go to that layer, and you're going to visualize bringing white light. We're going to clear out all that we find in that layer that is causing limiting beliefs. Some of you that are very intuitive are going to get memories of past lives. You're going to get visions, memories of childhood, other traumatic events that are linked to this cyclical pattern. Okay, so go ahead and clear that out. If you're not as intuitive, you're going to see it. If you're more physical, if you're not seeing things visually, you're going to feel it emotionally. Okay, so you're going to feel heaviness. It's going to feel really heavy in the heart. So with your mind's eye, visualize eliminating all of that heaviness. You can even visualize turning a dial to go from 20 down to 0, and it begins to clear this layer completely of your body. Okay, now you're working at the quantum level now. So you're really, really healing the depths layers, the very deep layers of your body. Go ahead and clear that out completely, and you begin to feel lighter. Really, really much lighter. This is the technology of the future. This is the healing of the future. We're working with our holographic body. So as you clear that out, go ahead and bring a white cord of light down into this fragment of yourself. You're going to anchor it down to the center of the earth, and you're going to turn it on, illuminate it. Okay? Notice how it has changed. Notice how it's empowered. Notice how it now remembers. Go ahead and bring that fragment into your body as you inhale deeply, reintegrating 7 bodies in, 7 bodies out, all charges down to 0, negative infinite. And immediately, if you were still feeling any physical tension as a result of those prior emotions, you will notice that it now really begins to just leave the body. Leaves the body. And what happens when you do this kind of deprogramming, and you're activating DNA and you're creating new neural pathways, but at the same time you are eliminating this trauma that was created. The fragmentation, you've reintegrated that fragmentation, and the trauma, you've now shifted it. And what will happen is that when you try to look back at this memory, it's not going to be as vivid anymore. It's not going to be as traumatizing, as painful anymore. And that is showing you that you have healed. This is a proof for yourself that you have healed that part of you. This is what we want to do with our entire life experiences. And it might seem like a lot of work, but in fact, these are repetitive patterns that you're doing. So once you do one, you'll be doing groups of these memories throughout your entire life. So go ahead and bring that into the body, and you're going to breathe deeply. And you're going to scan your entire multidimensional body now. And we're going to look again in our multidimensional body, the 13 layers in this physical self in the now. And I want you to tune in to where in your multidimensional body you are holding on to some of this heavy emotion. Breathing deeply. Okay, go ahead and tune in to the 13 layers of the body. Where do you have debris? Where do you have stagnation? Clear it out. Again, you can turn that dial from 20 to 0 on all those layers. Okay. We're going to start by, now that you're done with that, working with the root chakra at the base of your spine. Go ahead and spin it very fast, very, very fast. And you're going to visualize that you're eliminating any cords that are attached to the space that no longer serve you. You can visualize 360 degrees, severing any cords that we're unconscious of, and breathing deeply, taking back your life force into the body and releasing back whatever you took on that doesn't belong to you. Other people's emotions, illnesses, thought forms, sickness, fears, anxieties. Some of you that are more empathic are holding on to a lot from the collective. So let that go. We do not need to hold on to that. Going up to the sacral. Okay, spinning it as fast as possible. Okay, notice in your field any kind of cords that are attached to your physical body, cutting those cords on that end, cutting the cords on our end, and you're going to inhale deeply and release at the sacral level. These are relationships, intimacy, exchange energy, and also creativity. So just notice, this also has a lot to do with our relationship with money. And I think that's a really, really big topic for the next couple of years, is how we handle money, how we exchange. What is going to be the currency of exchange? And it is changing. It's not going to be like before. The exchange is different now. We are entering a different state of exchange, which is very much vibrational. The universe, the laws of the universe, in order to be abundant, don't function on simply physical means. These are means of co-creation, laws of creation that we need to tune into. So clear out any fears that we might have of needing to be safe and secure in the material, and begin to, of course, ground in that, but begin to trust that the laws of exchange with the universe are based on our vibrational frequency. Again, not fear, not lack, but congruent with yourself on all areas, body, mind, and soul. That is the greatest currency. So clear that out. Going up to the solar plexus now, as you spin that solar plexus, these are the emotions, okay? So are you holding on and sitting on those heavy negative emotions throughout your weeks? Go ahead and clear all of that out, cutting cords with people, places, and things that trigger those heavy emotions. Inhale, calling back your life force into the body and releasing whatever you took on that doesn't belong to you. Any toxic exchanges, any memories from the past, clear that out. And immediately you feel your body kind of coming back together. You really begin to become aware of its wholeness. Go up to the heart now. This is the heart center, the throat. Spin it as fast as possible. Cut cords. Inhale and exhale. This is our worthiness, self-worth. This is our unconditional love for the self and all things. Are we seeing things as unity, as one, or are we thinking of separation, of fights with things? Are we fighting with things all the time? People, places, things. Are we constant state of survival? Okay, if you're in a constant state of survival, thinking of separation of all things, thinking that you are separate from something, you're going in the wrong direction. This is a direction of self-destruction. So we want to think more unity. That unity first has to occur internally, mentally, psychologically, and emotionally. And then it expresses externally. Going up to the throat, spinning it as fast as possible. Clearing out the cords from the throat. This is communications, expressions, feminine and masculine balance. Energies of creation. Okay, so where are we imbalanced? Are we very aggressive? Are we always demanding things and, doing all of the things that the wounded masculine does? Is that who we are? Are we doing all the things that the wounded feminine does? Are we manipulating? Are we, not being truthful, not trusting? Okay, notice that. Notice, are we playing out these things? Okay, so cut the cords with all of those experiences and take back your life force, coming back into a balanced state, neutral, where we feel safe. We are home in this body. And it is safe to be what we are without fear. And that looks like something completely different. So just going up to the third eye now, going into the intuition. Again, this has to do a lot with trust. So trusting that we're safe in who we are, not having to change or move or try to be something else. Trusting the intuition, clearing out all of the intuitive. Now, for those of you that are experiencers, for those of you that are connected to the higher realms, communications, channelings, setting the intention that we are in alignment with the highest realms, not parasitic consciousness, not anything that wants to feed off our life force. So taking a moment to clear and reset those connections. Knowing that the ego is not the one managing those communications, but rather the highest self. Okay, so clearing those out is very important. Even if it's guides, we're always renewing, we're always reconnecting with new consciousness, and we want to do that. It's not something consciousness external, it's us, new reflections of ourselves. Okay. Going up into the crown. Activating the crown. If you know your creative color, go ahead and put it up in your crown. If you don't know your creative color, go ahead and see a color that represents your highest vibrational expression at this time. And put it up into the 7th and the 8th, illuminate it, activating the center of manifestation. And we're going to set the intention in the 7th and 8th chakra in our career, that our career from this moment forth is in alignment with our highest expression. Whether that means a change or whether that means we just need to continue doing what we're doing, but maybe adjust, create more balance. Okay. Our relationships with all of the people that we come in contact with, whether they are familiar with us or strangers, setting the intention that we're in alignment with our highest expression in those exchanges. That they're always balanced, honoring one another. The next is your health. Fill that in, changing the vibrational frequency of this entire organism so that it's in alignment with vitality, moving out of the law of karmic suffering and accident. Going into intimacy. Our most intimate relationships, our partners, fill that in. Setting the intention that we're in alignment with the relationship that we need to be in now. And if a lot of you are experiencing decoupling, that it happens in a conscious way that is best for each soul without buying into the old programs of having to create chaos or fights or arguments or any of those ego things that are not necessary at this time. Just simply aiming for what is best for your organism and the other. And of course, if we are in partnerships, solidifying those relationships in the highest expression. And finally, your purpose. What are you here to do? Go ahead and fill that in, setting the intention that you are in alignment with whatever it is that you're doing, and that you are powerfully protected and divinely guided at this time to do exactly, to go exactly where you need to go, with the intention that you are here in your highest well-being to be of service, but also to yourself, to complete this whole self, to become whole. Very good. You're going to go up to your 9th. Go ahead and illuminate the 9th. The 10th. the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, and above you is a powerful white light of source. Go ahead and connect up into that white light. Bring that white light down into your body. Anchor it into the center of the earth. Once again, you are growing your light even wider with the work that you've done today. Dissolving these cyclical patterns that are causing limiting beliefs and fears. Go ahead and open your eyes and come back into the room. I want you to see your field around you, becoming aware of what you are able to control. See your grounding, feeling fully in your body, aware of your 5 senses and the one that is observing those 5 senses. Okay? And aware of the emotions, and notice that you can always bring yourself back to your breath, whatever is occurring inside out. Okay? And creating, intentionally co-creating, not from a place of fear, but this beautiful energetic surrender that has this strong masculine grounding, rooting in your truth. Very good. So thank you so much for joining me today. You guys are amazing. And I'm very happy to have shared this moment with you. If you guys have any questions at all, put it down in the messages below. I can't wait to connect with you. If you need to get a hypnotherapy with me to dive deeper in connecting with your higher self, in holographic healing, any parts of you that you feel that need more support, traumas, ancestral programs, past lives, future aspects of yourself, calling in some healing, let me know. I'm happy to assist you with that, and also with DNA reprogramming. So I hope you have a wonderful night, and please use this for your healing, and I will see you tomorrow. Much love. Good night. So thank you so much to everyone that is here. Let me see if I have any questions in here. Thank you so much, Rooted in Sacredness, for joining us. Boy, I saw you this morning in our group meditation this morning. So you have been meditating all day. Your aura must be shining right now. Thank you for doing this work. It's wonderful. All right, so let me connect here with you. Luana, thank you so much for joining us today. Super Sport 2778, yes, welcome. Divine Love, hello, my love, welcome. Pink Light, hello. Edenez, welcome. Welcome so much. Dana Steinet Jackson, how wonderful to see you. I just finished the Portal to Ascension online event. That's amazing. It was such an incredible 4 days of people, I mean, these amazing experts in their field. So I'm so glad you checked that out. Ashish Yadav, thank you so much for joining us. Much love to you. RNR2, so happy to see you here. Thank you for tuning in. You mentioned on the GC, my first house is here. Can you clarify that for me, Dana? If you're still here, let me know. I'm not sure what that means on the GC. I have a question. In meditation, is laying down flat okay, or sitting up more of a benefit? That's a really great question. So the thing is that the spine has to be straight. It has to be straight, because anytime that we lean back or leaning forward or something like this, we're cutting the blood flow that goes through the spinal cord. And the meridians of the body get interrupted when they're moving energy through the body. So it's really important to be sitting straight. Sitting straight is the ideal. If you want to lay down, that's fine, but do not fall asleep. And sometimes when we're going through these heavy transitions and we're doing these heavy meditations, it's very easy to doze off and stay conscious. But if you can stay awake in that meditation, please do. Now, another thing that I want to mention, that our human body, when we're standing up straight, we're somehow creating a toroidal field around the body that is in alignment with this planet Earth, more so than when we're laying down. Sometimes we are cross-sectioning energies that move through the body depending on where we're located on the Earth. So keep in mind that for some people, laying down in meditation might be really just difficult, just really hard to do for that reason. When you're sitting up, you are moving in the natural cycling of Earth in the direction in which you are in this planetary moment with the gravity as it is. Trees, plants that are around us have that same toroidal field around them, and they are moving from the center of the Earth outward. And so we also want to hold on to that pillar of light through the body. anchor it in the physical body. So it might be easier when you meditate to focus and to get a more powerful effect in your meditation if you're sitting. Okay. Elia, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Joe Pesci, thank you so much for being here, Joe. Really great. Doesn't matter if you're late. I'm glad you made it. My avatar is not me. You are wonderful. Thank you. I watched you on Alba's channel last night and before now. So helpful. Just what I needed at this time. Wow. Thank you so much for checking that out. I'll start this over a bit later today. Yeah, definitely take your time to do this exercise. Thank you for being here. D. Elizabeth, Geraldine. Hey, D. Elizabeth. Joe Pesci. Damn, I didn't grow my energy field tonight. You know what, Joe? You can re-listen to this and you're going to be just fine. Thank you for tuning in and doing the work. Okay, you asked questions about the practice. Go ahead and re-listen to it. Sometimes there's a lot of details that are involved. Take your time and follow along. The idea is that you always focus on yourself and what you're feeling in that moment, more so than depicting what the other person is doing. Always bring it back to yourself, okay? And you are not the only one in existence, but you are the only one that controls what you're experiencing and how you're seeing what you're experiencing. So that's where your attention should always be. Very good. So let me just answer any questions. Should I battle over people's energy before it tries to battle over mine? Nope, we don't want to be battling over anyone's energy, not even your own, because the idea is that you become very genuine with your expression. Get to the root of why you are feeling the way you're feeling. Get to the root of that so you understand yourself. That process is gold. That is what people pay thousands of dollars to psychologists to try to figure out, what are causing these kinds of repetitive patterns. But if you can understand what your patterns are, why you behave the way you are, why you have those emotions, it can help you get to the root of it and work on that root. And that's really how we can begin to change. And that's how I, for example, deprogrammed myself with my own work by myself without having any other person to guide that. It was a self-led journey. And so you can do that for yourself. Joe Pesci, how is a healthy way to interact with the energy field of others? The healthiest way to interact with the energy field of others is to own your own space. And in this own space, teach yourself what self-love is through the compassion of yourself. Moment by moment. Okay, so teach yourself what compassion is. Utilizing compassion, you're teaching yourself what self-love is moment by moment. And if you know that, you will probably be the most constructive person in any room at any time, because you are owning your space, you're aware of yourself, you're accountable, and you're completely congruent with yourself in that moment, mind, body, soul. If you see another person, we have no authority over that person's emotions. We cannot control what they're feeling or experiencing. You can only control yours. And the best way to affect our environment is by learning to affect yourself and what you're experiencing. So always be mindful of your energetic field. If we as a global consciousness were to universally step into a new realm, spiritual knowledge would not cause spiritual and mental conflict to the next level. If we as a global consciousness were to universally step into a new realm, spiritual knowledge would not cause spiritual and mental conflict to the next level. I'm not sure I understand your comment, my love, but if we did step in to, global, stepped into this spiritual knowledge, it would definitely help, because we would be more mindful of what we're doing. Angie says, hi, Geraldine, and all in the chat. Hey, Angie, thank you so much for being here. Okay, let me go down here to some more questions. Like, what if my energy field gets so big it starts manipulating reality? Well, Joe, actually, we do have the ability of shifting how we are experiencing things. That really is our superhuman power. And we can do that with vibrational frequency. In my courses, I teach how to enter a certain color, vibrational frequency in your space and into a room, and it literally changes events that are with other people to a better, to something better. But there are very strong ethics and a very deep understanding of the law of free will that has to occur before you can start doing that. Because otherwise, we end up going into these parasitic behaviors, which there are plenty of that in our universe that manipulate. And that is called mind control, right? You can control what someone is thinking and feeling simply by submitting any subliminal messages, whether that's color, like in marketing, or any kind of propaganda or thought forms that are inserted into your reality to twist the way that you think and feel about things. So that is something that is done without acknowledging the free will of an organism, and it becomes very parasitic. But there is a way to do that in a way that's constructive and respectful of all organisms, and that happens through the discipline of the mind, body, and the activation of our intuition. Okay, so that's kind of like the sages, what they practice, or what we have the ability of becoming. Very good. So, Angie, thank you so much. Elsa Ranas, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Rooted. Thank you very much, sister. Thank you all for being here. What a gift. Since I found out about this today, I need to go back and listen. Today, 1 and 3, they're not connected to one another, so you can do them independently, and they're different. They're all focusing on different aspects of yourself. So feel free to listen to all of them whenever you have a chance. Rooted in Sacredness says, I have been in meditation more than awake today and fasting. Such a good day. Wow, so many shifts. That's amazing. All right, my loves. Thank you. Sitting it up it is. Yes, thank you so much. Truth Within. I had a powerful shift. Very important tech. And yes, so much of it is about wanting the sense of control. Yep, I got that too. Lots of tears and resistance. Wow. Beautiful work. You guys are so beautiful. I love you so much. Please take care. I will see you tomorrow. Light workers, have a good night. Sleep, reintegrate and integrate everything that you've experienced today. And in dream time, keep doing that work out there. So much love. See you soon.